Hi, I'm Dr. Rahman, and welcome to Black Women's Health. As promised, this is the bonus section. The Divas open up even more. They talk about men, sex, relationships, and being alpha females. Take a listen.
Because we've always had to wait our turn. It's not fair.
It's
and
not.
why are we bowing down to you?
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's not only in workplace, but that's just out and about. I mean, I've been in supermarkets or whatever, and literally the woman is waiting on me. Matter of fact, when I was in Africa, the woman was I'm at the hotel and we're engaging in conversation. She's behind the desk and I'm and this. I said, excuse me.
Yeah.
She and I are speaking.
Yep. Good for you, Tammy. Good.
I am not invisible. I am this beautiful 5'6", voluptuous black woman.
Okay, Mama.
Go ahead, Mama.
And not just waiting in line, engaged in the conversation. Like I was here first. This is a yes.
Yeah, back the heck up.
It's interesting.
6 feet.
For sure.
And I see my mother growing up. I've seen my mother experience that in the market. And that's why we come into the workplace sometimes just ready. Because we don't know where it's coming from. And it might be just an automatic. We might, and it's just automatic because it seems like as soon as we step foot in there, they just start coming at us. Well, good morning. Can you at least say good morning first?
You are bracing yourself all the time. And whether it's warranted or unwarranted, that's just the way you feel like you have to show up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say difficult or combative. What I'll say is turning off who you are as a alpha female in an environment where you're surviving. How do you turn it off at home when you're supposed to be warm boo-boo kitty for your mate, right? And if you're that alpha female with a role and hoping that you have a mate that understands and he's comfortable in who he is, to bring you down. Because I've had,
there are a lot of black men that don't know how to engage with and speak to a woman who is a alpha female. Because he is not that thug and whatever else people have that alpha male to be like. In my mind, the alpha male is very calm, very quiet. And when he speaks with a certain tone, and it's just like, okay. But I think sometimes we meet a lot of men who don't know how to deal with that alpha female, because I'm an alpha beta in the right space. What do I mean? I can dial it back. I've had experiences where I was dating an alpha male, and it's beautiful because he knew what to say, when to say it, and I was purring. I had to speak to him in a certain way in order to be heard, even when our opinions were different. Because it was very important to me to have my voice heard. Now, I may have had a short stint of, and I was like, wait a minute.
If he could decipher through that.
Let me take a step back, because the goal is, I want to get it off, but the goal is to be heard.
Right. That's right.
And so it was, I knew if I need to speak to him in this way in order to be heard, in order to get the result I want, because he's just going to shut down. He's not going to hear me. And what's the point?
Right.
So was it always perfect? No. But as we were together for a time period, and I was able to understand how our communication was successful, it worked out. But I knew, I was like, I can't come to this man like this. So I'm good with it. And so that was how I, just experienced that relationship. But I think it's about, does he know how to engage with you?
Absolutely.
And that's where it's been falling short. This is where, and
Everybody
we get the
wants
bad
the
rap.
original.
An alpha female is not a negative female.
It's not.
And that's
Right,
where we get the bad rap.
That's right.
Where an alpha female, a lot of us, a lot of times we know what we want. Mm-hmm. We articulate what we want, and we hold him accountable to who he says he is.
And if we don't get it, we get it ourselves.
Do you feel safe with him?
Right,
so it's a difference. I'm not going to go against or be combative or whatever they want to, whatever stigma they want to put around us.
Yeah.
Ready to
If I feel secure with him, if I can be vulnerable with him, that black super cape with a superwoman with a cape, that is so overrated.
Yes,
it's overrated. I don't want no damn cape. I want to come home from being out dealing in the world into an environment that's like a cocoon, so I can feel warm, secure, and
each
have
building each other.
Yeah, that's right. And if and if there's a communication that we need to have, let's have it. But I need someone who, because all the women around this table are successful in their own right, and are accomplished in their own right, and have done things. Finding a partner who's not threatened by that is a challenge. It's a challenge. I had one gentleman tell me before, I don't think I'm ever going to be enough for you. And I'm thinking, I said to him, who did I ever say that to you? Did I ever tell you you weren't enough? Why would you think that?
Society.
I can't fix that. It took me a long time to learn that.
Yeah, I had a lot of. A man said to me, "You have a house, you have a luxury car. What can I do for you?"
Every woman,
the house needs fixing. Car needs fixing.
Right.
Okay. But you know what? I'm not even trying to put all that on a male.
Right.
Like, let's come
That's
together.
just my personal list. That's
right.
Universally. That's just
Let's figure out. Let's figure out what we can do together.
To get it done.
I tell people all the time.
But you know somebody.
They will talk about, a woman like you probably want to deal with a CEO. I deal with CEOs every day, day in, day out. They're assholes. I don't feel like living with one. I don't want one. I want someone who knows what he wants. You don't have to be this billionaire. And I think that social media, I think so many things.
Wait a minute, are you saying you would take a blue collar?
Absolutely.
2 blue collar husbands here, and they made good money.
Electrician?
Let me say an electrician.
Can you fix something? That's your blue collar job. Let you fix something. Can you fix electric, gas, car? Can you build something? Come on. Yes. Would I take a blue collar brother? The answer is yes.
What we don't want is an insecure blue collar brother.
Absolutely.
That's what ones I don't make more money than you. That's when those you don't want that. Be confident in what you do.
And more also I want someone who's mentally balanced, who's rooted in his spiritual, like all of that counts and matters. Let's take the money stuff off. Now I'm not gonna be on somebody's corner like
there you go. If you want, girl, I'll pick you up, pick you up, throw you in the car, and take your behind home.
But I love it.
And we're gonna have
I'm not gonna be on the corner with my artist husband selling his baby. That ain't happening. However, yes, a blue collar brother, absolutely. Actually, I'm telling all my girlfriends, we're going to have a lawsuit.
You saw
Everybody, we're going to do a lawsuit. We're suing Walt Disney for selling us that bullshit about Prince Charming.
About who?
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming.
A class action suit.
Lawsuit against
Walt Disney.
And I think it's so interesting.
They're gonna tell you it's a cartoon.
It's interesting
You don't have
because
to believe that.
Cinderella's the witness.
I think we get a bad rap too as successful
Snow White.
black women who are degreed.
Yeah.
I think we get a bad reputation in general. There's always some outliers that, I've recently,
What's the reputation?
Okay, we have a list. And the list is long, and the list is unrealistic. And
Well, I mean, you usually have a list.
No, wait. No, it's not that we have. First of all, everybody has a list.
Men have a list.
And I think the problem is the focus is always on the black women have this long list that's not realistic. Black men have a list too. They have a list too. They want she gotta be a 10, she gotta have an artificial butt, big dick, she gotta look at her. Now I know it's not all, but my point is we all have a list. But the highlight gets to us about our list. Now, are there black women that have an unrealistic list? Yes. Absolutely. But I think that just because we want a man that is confident, has what we might say an acceptable income,
right? Acceptable income.
Who is comfortable in his skin, who can support me, love me, and all your little things that individual women have. What's wrong with that?
As Black women, we are less likely to be partnered. We're less likely to be married. So there is something going on. I mean,
I can tell you. We can go to Swanksville and we can go to Madison. You can get yourself a man that's so long.
Or I think it's not enough for us to be all first wives married till we die. So I'm definitely like wife number 2 or 3.
I don't need to be a first wife.
This is enough, but we all gotta.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
At this age, I don't need to be a first wife. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that.
So this is enough. We just may not all enough to be all first wives.
Right, but for the second one,
no. We don't get married as a
you
group.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the numbers,
It's growing. It is growing.
Why?
Well, I think it's I personally think that a lot lately, the Black community, at least from when I was younger, we weren't socialized to marry.
Right.
The women, we weren't really socialized. It's like, make sure you can take care of yourself.
That ain't no
that's
lie.
true.
And so, but Susie is socialized to get married. Maybe the women, or the Black women who went to college, maybe in the 40s and 50s, like go meet your husband. I mean, I hear a lot of older Black women say they went to whatever HBCU and they found their husbands.
You're right. If I didn't go to college looking for a man, because you're right. There were a couple that got away who probably very
All
good
I want
husbands.
is a nice friend, a companion.
Long-term
Can we go
life
someplace? I do not care about getting married.
I know
I
that. I need
just
a
want
partner
a
first.
good partner
Someone that
that
has fun.
really, that somebody I can have fun with.
But we're not even having that, according to you.
No.
Well, guess what? I did read an article about that. There are the Black male population for us in Pennsylvania is just poor.
Jail is a deal breaker for me personally. It's a deal breaker.
But that's
It's not a deal breaker. I done been there, done that.
I can't do it.
I done been there, done that.
I'm not built like that.
No, it depends because our Black men are being locked up for the stupidest things. But I done been there, done that, and we got through it.
So did I.
And when they learn to trade, can they fix something? They learn how to fix something.
I don't think we're talking about men that are currently in jail. You're trying to date them. I'm talking about if you ain't
We're not talking about the chronic. We're not doing all been locked up. We're not love and locked up. We're not doing that. No.
Let me make sure I'm clear on record. I don't mean
currently in jail.
brothers. If you are currently incarcerated, see me after you get home, get clean.
And please don't sign me up for love and locked up.
And have your job with an acceptable income
I'm not
level.
talking about that. I'm talking about those who might have had a stint there for whatever. And it wasn't child. It was something else, or you were wrong. Maybe you had a beater behind, and it wasn't your fault. And you had to get locked.
Accidentally stole that money. Okay.
Oh Lord, now you're an embezzler.
White collar crime, I can do.
Does your podcast go to the prison? We have an appeal.
Now he's an embezzler. Oh,
White collar crime, you can handle. You have your own bank account though. We ain't concerned with our funds, but I can get past
I just think it's just difficult right now. And then how's everyone feel about? They're saying maybe we shouldn't just look at Black men. And I want a black man.
I want a black.
I mean, I want a
That's
black
my
man, but I
preference,
definitely
but
think
that's my
that for
preference.
those, I definitely think that we as Black women should continue to explore our options.
Yes.
Because as we know, there are some of our sister counterparts that they do make a decision to marry outside of our race, and I think that's an option for us.
Preference.
Our Black men have left us a long time ago doing that. For whatever reason, they have left and not looked back. Attractive white man, I will give you, you're attractive. But I think that what do we have in common? Because relationships, even when we're in our own community, one of the important things is what do we have in common?
Right.
And you bond, that is part of your bonding. For me, I am turned off by a white man that wants to be black. I'm turned off by that. Yeah. Be yourself. And if I like you because you are Peter, the Russian man, or wherever you're from, and I don't know, I'm just saying, I mean, Italian, I'm going to look at you. Yeah, but I just, for me, it's like, I haven't really found anything in common. You know,
I'm not giving up.
I'm not giving up.
I'm not either.
And through the swamp of dating, I'm opening up. I'm opening up to more conversations, whether or not it's conversations. I have guys that stop me in different Home Depot, different places. Okay. I'm on now some dating platforms. Ooh, it is pee in the pool. Come
on now. The intent for dating platforms is one thing, but you add humans to it, and it's a whole other thing.
So I'm just being more open. To those opportunities.
And I think too, the more you're engaged in the things that you like to do, as opposed to there are people that just go home, they just sit there and they do nothing. You have to get engaged in.
I find, at least in this area, this is a small social area, believe it or not, even though we are a large major city. Yeah. And if you're affiliated with different social organizations, sororities, fraternities, links, etc., after a time period, that circle becomes small because when you have these public events, there's typically married couples there, the same
Yes.
And it's so interesting. A lot of my married friends, you'll say, well, does your husband have any friends? And 9.5 out of 10, the answer is no. Or they'll say, not that I would introduce y'all to. And it's like, well, damn. So the married males, our married girlfriends' husbands claim they don't have any single friends to introduce.
One that they would want
introduce you to. And it's not because of the female. They claim it's because of the male friend. And so then it's like, okay, where do you go? Because I know even amongst this group we talk about where can we go different to meet single men of, I don't want to say worthy, but single men that you would want to meet, have conversation with, and see what happens. And the responses are limited. That's the burning question. Now, I've had conversation of, well, we have to travel outside of our area. Okay, fine. Then COVID hit, so now it's, how does that look? Because we're fortunately in a great tri-state area, right? Right. And so it's travel outside, go to Delaware, go to Jersey, go to Maryland, go further, DC,
Virginia.
They willing to travel.
That's
part of the problem.
For the record.
You can go online too, and I've been on online dating sites, and I've had hits and misses. Hits and what is it? Yeah. I've had hits and misses. Excuse me. But that caps out after a while. Then you meet someone that's great. Oh, it's like, all right, it's 3 months. Okay, now it's fizzled out. So that's the issue now. Where do we go to meet men of a certain age?
Conferences.
Heterosexual, available.
That part.
Mentally and legally. And legally. Mentally and legally.
That part.
That the numbers are low for us. If we want black men,
You're right.
Again, please join my suit against Walt Disney.
We will. Classic.
Your Prince Charming's coming.
Your Prince Charming.
But he might be in a person carriage.
I will never say there are not enough good black men out there. I will
never
never say that. I have
I
never said there's not good black men out there. Never. I have two brothers and a father. There are amazing black men out there. There really are. But a lot of those amazing men could already be in relationships. A lot of those amazing men could be out of the age range. So that's the challenge. Where can we go to be in the same space and place with these men?
I asked some of my line sisters, I was like, well, all due respect, is your mother and father, did they make it through COVID? Because some of y'all dads is fine.
Dawn, I ain't gonna hit you.
That's the duck to give it
But
to
I'm
the
like
wife.
you doing. I'm not giving up.
He's building a
It's
house
just
there. It's a
that.
beautiful house.
Because I know what I want.
But,
It's just
but the
that.
other part of that is, to your point, it is the numbers are staggering,
Yeah.
right?
But it gets tougher too.
And the older you get, the older it is. Because I don't want, as I said, I don't mind an older man, but he can't be old.
Hospice husband.
Hospice, yeah, I'm not doing that. I need someone who's as spry as me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be wheeling you around. I'll be mad.
So mom asked her, she said, Maggie, how's the dating scene? She's like, girl, they go. And she had a southern accent. She said, let me tell you, these people want you to tell you when they're supposed to take their heart medicine. She said, I don't have time for that.
No, you need to know CPR and signs of a stroke for everybody. For everybody.
But if
You
you
would
want
have to do that.
on your
better
medication,
call
I'm not
911.
doing that. Don't shake that bag. That's not cute.
But it
That
was
bag
just
down.
like, I said, well, you know what you going to do?
But to your point, our tolerance level is different.
Especially as
and I'm not saying that's what that was.
Right, I
That's,
understand.
but I agree. My tolerance level for some stuff is
it's
way
very low.
smaller than it
It's
used
low.
to be.
Yeah.
The only person I had that kind of tolerance for is my son, and that's dwindling too because he's getting older. I mean, you should know better. But I think our tolerance level for some of that stuff. Come on, man, you grown.
But I mean,
Men
Yeah,
do
we
it too,
don't.
though.
Shenanigans.
Men have low tolerances for us too. You know, men will ghost us in a heartbeat.
Yes, they will.
In a heartbeat for
Or when they
dumb
get
stuff.
mad, they start.
you know, or you know, they'll so I feel like we as black women, we're always getting the blame for, predominantly getting the blame for when relationships don't work or because we're single. I've not been single I've never been married. And I don't get the question as much anymore, but I would get, so what's wrong with you? Why aren't you sitting there? And not wrong with you. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Something wrong with you for asking me that question.
right.
So if I wanted to get married, I could have gotten married.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I want a relationship.
Well, that's what I've said before
not everyone
to a couple of
married
people.
is-
It's easy to get a man.
Yes.
I can get a man.
Yeah.
But it's the caliber of man
Yes.
that I desire
Yes.
to share my life with. It's, trust me, you can get a man.
Oh, come on now.
Yes, you can.
You can get a man. You can get a man.
Let me tell you, and with my low
You can
tolerance,
get a
you
man.
have to do
Yes,
it the next day.
it's what caliber of man do you want? To your point, like, what is our tolerance of each other? I was seeing someone who told me he doesn't eat leftovers. He expects
But he
me.
cooks then.
He expects me to cook at least 3 to 4 days a week.
So what is he
Out of
gonna
7.
Does he know you work?
He knew all that. And I said, well, you know I work like you work, right? Well, there has to be some give and take here, is what he said to me. I said, you're right.
Well, you can
If
make
you're
my
making
girls-
enough money, I don't have to work like I'm having to iron your shorts and meet you at the door of the martini. But I better not have to work, and you better keep me in this lifestyle. Then I'll iron your sheets.
All right.
And
So
he probably don't even cook.
we don't have the relationships. Are we having sex?
Listen, I call me Sahara. Okay?
Sahara.
Like, that's it, honey.
So no relationships, but I keep my
Warm.
Limited.
my warm room. I have a warm room. I keep my warm room. So I have folks checking in, but it's just to determine, and they for the streets. So I got to be very cautious.
You have to be careful. That's true.
Or you've had some of them.
I like that line. I had folks checking in.
I say checking in. I'm at a point where it's like sex that you don't really get anything out of, or nothing. And I have been in the nothing lane because it is very frustrating when he is like, oh, and you're like, done. It is so frustrating. And I'm in a different
only
phase.
invite the check-in ones that you know that got the full
Right,
And I have had to take.
I'm
at a point in my GYN
Yes,
life
they've been reviewed. Or they
where
Yelp
I've had
reviews.
to make some adjustments. Postmenopausal, so the body changes. And I've gotten to know her. We have an understanding now. So at this phase, I'm good. But when you do decide to have sex with someone and the outcome isn't what you wanted it to be, and you may have had conversation after conversation say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I need you to do, and let's just say 40% of it might be done, but you still don't have the outcome that you just like, I'm good. Go on. I wish you well. Because it's like, but it's like, because what's the goal?
Exactly.
The goal is this. And when your partner, when your partner is like out there, and you're like
really
deflated.
No.
I'm talking, and you've had some exploration.
Then you have to explore.
No, it's called thank you, but I'm done. Because there's nothing, and when there's nothing else to support it, the conversation is not there.
Oh no, they got
So
not
if this is
the
just
house.
now, if they were just a sex partner, then that's it. Then that's different. But when they want to, when you're trying to explore, can we do have a relationship? Because as I tell men, women, we are ovens. You are microwaves. You have to get to me mentally in order to stimulate my libido.
No, that is so true.
A lot.
My long range partner has to stimulate my mind. If I'm going after, because your thing is what it is.
Yes, that's different.
That's
different.
That's
I had that too. I had that too. Come get it and go.
Yeah, like I'm good with that. You want to cuddle, like whatever, we do that. But
make sure you
no,
get the
he ain't got to
spot.
talk about too
Deep.
much if he hitting everything else.
Right? No, I'm not talking about the hit it man.
The maintenance.
Okay, I'm the maintenance man. I'm maintenance
I
man.
love it.
Yes, maintenance man. The maintenance man is always good because he's the maintenance man.
But it's hard to find good maintenance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't disagree.
Sheesh.
I don't
There's a
disagree.
few around.
And the thing is, look,
Y'all ain't kidding, please. That's somebody.
and we also, how can I say this?
Stay around.
No, I'm gonna hold that for a minute.
Really?
They are around.
I'm gonna hang out with you doing the next 6 months.
Stay around.
So, yes, I have some other things to say about that.
It's difficult. I mean,
it's a
it's
challenge.
just a different. It's just a different.
It's different because I would reflect back on some of my family members where the women were still living and their husbands passed on and they ended up meeting a really nice gentleman friend. They had like the best relationship. They went to dances. They went to they went on trips together. They and their friends got together, what have you. And I just if that happens to me, I hope I end up in a relationship like that.
But I always 80. But you gotta wait till you're 80 to get like
No. But my aunt, her husband died when she was 47.
Wow.
And they had an absolutely wonderful relationship. And that's what you really want. Now, she never remarried. And he had been married and his wife had died. But they had a beautiful relationship. And it's like, where do you find people like that? And when I tell you they did stuff together, he took her on a 2-week vacation every year. And she entertained and they went around the world. And I mean, he was just like a really gentleman.
That's a different time.
Yeah. But he was a really good.
Okay.
My last
You gotta
question.
wrap us up.
When you think back, would you have thought it might have been better to have gotten married right after college, before you got into your career?
For me, if I think about right after college, I don't think I was in a relationship that was marriage worthy. I would say for me, I wish I would have tried sooner to have children.
Yeah, I guess the question, is there a window of opportunity that we have as Black women?
Nope. I'm not subscribing to that, but I do feel like
Go
probably
ahead,
in college.
speak on it.
But I would say in college, I probably, in hindsight, probably would have paid attention or gone out with other guys. I dated the four fun guys because I didn't go to college thinking I was going there for an education and a spouse.
And a spouse.
Yes, I'm not going to pigeonhole Black women. I think that we can receive love. We may not be first wives, but I feel like if that's what we want, that's for us. But I do feel like, given that I see marriage, or at least I saw 2 marriages, so I'm a little behind schedule. But yeah, I do feel like I probably should have, in hindsight, paid attention. No, made that also a priority in college.
Yeah.
And things might have been different.
I've had my journey is totally different from these ladies. Since I was a teen mother at 16, by the time I was 21, I had 3 children. So I've had 2 proposals and no marriage. 1, I was too young. 3, I really was finding myself. And then by the time I was literally in college when my kids were babies. I was online when my kids were babies. So my experience was I was so focused and getting myself to a place that I could support those children that I didn't have no time for the shenanigans. So I was dating and growing up and finding myself, and a lot of guys that I chose to date were in the streets. They were street guys. And so no, I'm glad I didn't marry any of them.
It's interesting. We start talking about work and we end up talking about relationships. So what does that say?
That's right. Whenever you get women together.
But what I do like about this group, I think sometimes there are a lot of black women, again, when you hang out with your girlfriends, the assumption is you male bash. And I have to defend that in different conversations. I'm like, no, we have so many other positive things to talk about when we get together, and when we do talk about men, it's not bashing. We talk about our various experiences and how we look forward to having a partnership for those who don't have one. So, and they're just so surprised. I'm like, yeah, every black woman don't bash y'all.
Oh no,
let's stop that.
I love black men.
We love black men. We
black
want
men.
you. We respect you. We need you. And one of the things I appreciate about this group is that that's what we talk about. We talk about everything in the sense of, life, sorority, work, money, travel, stress, and men. And when we talk about our men, we do come with love. Even in our annoyances and irritation, we still say, but we love our black men. Thank you.